If you are in a hurry, it's time to pause. Take a deep breath. I gave this a lot of thought and finally decided that I want to make this video. It will be different that what I usually do on this channel, and what I do here is mostly related to the Star Wars franchise. But Star Wars mythology is all about the family, so it's kind of appropriate as well. Namely, a week ago I lost my father, who had cancer and ultimately didn't survive the surgery. And please understand that I'm not saying this to cause any type of pity towards myself. I'm okay. I had time to process this and to deal with it. The purpose of this video is not even to talk about my father, but I wanted you to know from where all of this is coming from. And what I want to do here is to talk about life and death. I would like to share with you what I've learned from this experience. Every day we all face challenges. We all experience loss and grief, and maybe we have a hard time dealing with it. And so if this topic makes you uncomfortable, that's okay. I understand you. You don't really need to listen to this. But what I want to do here is to give you my thoughts and feelings about this topic from an angle that is more positive and affirmative. I want to kind of remind you about the things that a lot of the time I myself forget, and a lot of us tend to forget as well. And so if some of the things that I'll say will seem stereotypical to you, that's fine. Stereotypes are usually based on some of the truths. Now, life is short. I know you heard that a million times. So did I. And I know that somewhere in the back of our brain, we are all aware that one day our life will come to its end. But most of the time, we tend to bury that notion. We don't like to think about it because it makes us feel uncomfortable. We see death as something morbid and negative. And so what we do is allow our consciousness to be distracted by an overwhelming amount of all sorts of things that our civilization brings us into our lives every day. We dive into all of this willingly because it preoccupies our thoughts and pulls us away from this horrifying theme that we think death is. A lot of us do this every day. That's how our brains are trained. We tend to bury ourselves with an enormous amount of work, with things that must be done, with worries, with big and small problems. Life brings all of that. On the flip side, we love to dive into all sorts of entertainment. Sports, movies, books, music. We enjoy it, and all of that can be beautiful. The things that we love can give us a fuller experience of life. But there is always that one thing in the back of our mind, that death that we know is the one certain thing that will happen to us, to all of us. And unfortunately, as I already said, we live in a civilization that trains us to run away from thoughts about death. But then, when death does happen somewhere near us, to someone close to us, it's all about shock, pain, and sorrow. And not only because of our loss, but because it reminds us about our own mortality. It is something that our psyche has a hard time dealing with. Through human history, civilizations had all kinds of ways to understand and deal with death. Mythologies, religions, their beliefs and rituals all emerged from this human need to atone the psyche with death, to make peace with it. But most of these rituals and beliefs are founded on fear, because what we are most afraid is that which is unknown to us, and death is the ultimate unknown. But on the other side, death also fascinates us. Through time, there were a lot of thinkers who gave a different view of this topic. One of them was Alan Watts, who, when thinking about death, said, "Imagine what it would be like to go to sleep and never wake up. In contrast to that, Imagine what it would be like to wake up after you have never gone to sleep. That is what happened when you were born. To me, this is one of the best explanations of experience of death that I ever heard. And experience is what life is all about. In words of Joseph Campbell, what we are all looking for is the experience of being alive. But dying is also a part of that experience. Life and death go together like night and day, and like all contrasts, you can't have one without the other. In words of Master Yoda, death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. In art history, there is a term Memento Mori, and it has roots in the philosophers of classical antiquity. It serves as a symbolic reminder of the inevitability of death. Now, what I've learned from death of my father is that after all pain and sorrow, there comes a reminder that I, myself, won't live forever. And I'm not saying that in a tragic way. Please understand that. Awareness of one's own mortality teaches us about how we should live our lives. That's something that would be taken from us if we were living forever in this form that we are in. It would be like a person who lives somewhere near the sea and never goes to the beach, never goes swimming, because all of it is always there. He can do it anytime. He can always do it tomorrow. But he never does, because that option is always there for him. So is with life as well. If we would live forever, the experience of life would be lost. It is this mortality and the passing of time that makes our experiences valuable. By reminding us that we won't live forever, death teaches us to be more aware of ourselves. I feel that it would be good to contemplate on the fact that one day all of this will end and to find peace with that. But it's hard to do. I understand that. It's hard to do because, as stated before, it terrifies us to think about it. But in time, it can actually calm our neurotic mind. Death puts some perspective into what is really important in our life. It also reminds us to enjoy life, enjoy the experience of being with people we love and the experience of doing the things that we love. We all share the experience of being alive on this planet that floats through space. And this existence is full of terrible and beautiful things. So, if I would tell you what I consider are the most important things, it would be this. Be aware of your body. Enjoy it and treat it with respect because it gives you a unique experience of living life as yourself. Take a moment each day and become aware of your breath. This is it. You are here and now, in this moment. And this moment, this now, is all that you have and all that you'll ever need. There is a story about a man who spends the whole day thinking about what he'll make for lunch tomorrow. And then, when tomorrow comes and he eats that lunch, he doesn't focus on enjoying it because he's too busy thinking what he'll make for lunch tomorrow. Stop focusing on the future. Stop skipping the present moment. Stop waiting for that other day, next week, next month, that event that needs to come in order for you to feel joy and to be happy. Focus on where you are right now, wherever you are, however bad, stressful, or boring it is. You will never be able to bring back this moment and this day. Do something for yourself or for someone you care about. Find a way to enjoy this day. There is a saying that when God sees a person who does something good for someone else, he smiles and says, just because of this one act of kindness, it was worth it to create the whole world. Some of the things that are troubling you are maybe not that big of a deal in a larger picture. Whoever you are and wherever you are not alone. There is someone who cares about you. Whatever mistakes you may be made in the past, ultimately, it's all forgiven. You are not just a name. You are not just an ID number. Those are just labels made by this civilization. You are much more than that. You are not a thing, an object. You are an ever-changing event that is a part of all other ever-changing events. You are not something that exists apart from this world. You are born out of this world. Its perfect balance makes it possible for you to even exist and have this experience. You are nature, and nature is you. You are life, and life is you. It is a miracle that you are even here. Therefore, respect the air that you breathe, the earth that holds you, and the sun that makes you warm. The same goes for all of the bad things and all of the good things in life, for people that love you and people that hate you. It is all here for you, to teach you, to give you an experience of what it feels like to be alive. All of it inside you and around you are parts of the same living organism. The same mysterious energy of life that makes your heart beating is the same in all of life forms around you. Please recognize that. Life lives through seasons, constantly consuming itself. Old leaves fall, new leaves are grown. People die, people are born. We tend to cling to an idea of a specific person, to an individual name and individual form, but as Ovid stated in his Metamorphosis, there is no death, but only change of form. We all know this, but we tend to forget, and that is why I wanted to make this video, as a reminder to all of you and to myself. Life is a mysterious, beautiful thing that hurts. It's all in the experience of being alive, and death has its part in it. We will all change our form, that is certain. But at this moment, you are alive, here and now. Enjoy your life. Always take time to slow things down a bit. Take a deep breath. Listen to yourself. Remember that it's not all about work. Spend time with the people you love and who love you. You will never be able to bring back this day. Cherish this present moment because, as the famous quote says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. I hope that these words were helpful. I love you all. Thank you for being here.